So yeah, I'm stiff and sore, and also on a good number of painkillers. So a little dopey. But we'll do what we can. We'll do what we can. Good. Good after a depressing F1 weekend. Is that what you're saying, Sarge? Yeah. So the Styrian Grand Prix is not the most exciting thing in the universe, and was pretty heartbreaking if you're a Ferrari fan. But 2020 is going to be pretty heartbreaking if you're a Ferrari fan, I think, just in general. I did not get a new cup of tea before starting, which may be a little bit of an oops, but we'll see how it goes. It sounds like time for a bottle of wine. Well, I'll have to let the painkillers get through my system first before I consider alternate methods of pain relief. Hey, Banana. 1000% hype for the return of Predator Racing. Yeah. So if you haven't seen any of this before, don't worry. You'll get caught up to speed. Speed, no pun intended. And in a certain sense, this is the perfect time to start, because since we're just starting a new league, a new championship, it's sort of like starting over from scratch all over again. So it's a great time for that. Apologies for bad weekend. Don't watch F1 races very often anymore, but when I do the Snows Fest. It's like 3 times I went to see Air United play live. None of those times did they win. So yeah, some of us are just really unlucky. On the bright side, last weekend, same race course in Austria, was very good. Very exciting race. Lots of drama anyway, and it was quite cool. This livery's a little McLaren, a little Williams, eh? Like mostly Williams, and then it's got a little bit of orange in there, like a McLaren kind of thing. Could be. I did see some of that. We'll talk. Probably do a video or something talking about the Civ new content stuff coming out soon. But all right, let's talk about Motorsport Manager. So this is a management game. We're not actually racing the cars ourselves. We are running the team. Although we will see the races as well, and we'll be giving plenty of instructions to the drivers and making decisions about pit stops and that kind of stuff as we go on. But a big part of the game is also the management and the development of the various parts of the car. We are currently doing something called the Underdog Challenge, which is to start as the worst team in the worst league at the start of the game. Predator Racing Group. Hey, Belf! Support the decision for Motorsport Mondays. Yeah, I think that could work. I think it could definitely work for us. I suspect that's probably what's going to happen, which means not season 2 exactly. I think this is maybe our 5th season of gameplay, but this second chapter of Motorsport Manager is going to have a very different feel from the first one, and maybe that's okay. So yeah, with this challenge, we have to stay with Predator Racing Group. We can't switch teams or anything like that. And if we complete it, and to complete it, we need to win everything. We have to get to the topmost league, win the topmost league, crush everything, starting from the bottom. And if we do, we get an achievement on Steam called Every Dog Has Its Day, because we're the underdog. Technically, you have as long as it needs to get done. So, and we had dabbled with Motorsport Manager before, but to win in the bottommost league, we really had to delve into the game mechanics quite extensively. And a lot of things in the game are not very well explained in game. And some of the things even that they say in the various tooltips and things like that, not everything is accurate. Some of it is just incomplete. Some of it is actually incorrect. So at a certain point, what I actually ended up doing is then I'm decompiling the code to the game so we could get some damn answers to some damn questions about what does some of these things affect stuff. You know, it says, oh, you're 10% faster in race trim, or you get 10% performance boost in race trim. Well, what does that actually mean? What does that translate to? What are the various tire bonuses? What does that actually mean? Because they're very vague sort of statements. And it's hard to get any definitive stats, because even if you run, say, the same practice laps over and over and over with different configurations, there's enough sort of randomness in it to make it very hard to start making some guesses as to what things are actually important and whatever. But we're going to see what we can. Found I need to press the stream to see the title. That's how you get the title to show up. Okay, yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with the mobile Twitch client. And yeah, it's weird that it doesn't, like, show you the title somewhere or something. That's really annoying. Maybe I'll just start making fun of mobile viewers in the stream title now, because apparently they're not going to see it. I don't know. Just weird UI design from the people over at the Twitches. Reload, thank you. Oh, that's Loon Call. Hey, Loon Call. Here's to making it difficult to focus on studying for summer school. Yeah, well, streams will do that for you. All right, so let's talk about our situation. So we're 11 days away to our first race in Singapore. We haven't started developing a new part yet, which I'm not sure if this might be our first opportunity to start after the practice. Yeah, we just did the preseason testing, so literally this is our first opportunity to start developing a part. Not that we have a whole heck of a lot of money for it. All right, so we're a team, Predator Racing Group. We've just advanced into this new league. We're basically going to be worse in the league because, you know, the budgets of other cars and things like that. So we're going to have to basically start from the bottom and work our way up again if we can. We're not getting fired, which is great. Our objectives are pretty low. There's 10 teams in total. Each team has 2 drivers, so 20 cars in total will be on the racetrack. It would be very nice if our drivers won their drivers' championships. That would be lovely. But the most important thing for us by far is simply how well our team does overall. And our objective here is apparently to do 9th or above. So we don't want to come in dead last in terms of the teams over here, if we can. So we'll see how it goes. We can see how our team shakes out overall compared to other teams. We have invested tremendously into our headquarters. That's what we did a lot early on in the game. We sort of maybe delayed. We probably could have advanced in championships sooner than we did if we put more money into our car sooner. But the headquarters investment was intended to be extremely long-term investment. For the late game, and then catch up after that. Our sponsors situation is actually currently really good, which is excellent because sponsors equal money. Our overall staff is apparently about average, so this is our mechanics, our designers, that sort of thing. It'd be great to have a little bit more. Pit crew's about average too, so that's lovely. Our drivers, 6th overall over here in terms of skill, about averagey. I think one of the things we did at the end of last season, in between seasons, I did go shopping around to see if there was any good driver alternatives for us, and I think that right now we're pretty much what we've got is probably the best we can get right now. Most of the drivers who are better than what we've got won't be willing to join our team because we haven't really proven ourselves in this league yet, or we just don't have the budget for it, or whatever. So let's take a look at our 2 drivers. We've got Max Porter. Max was the most recent addition to our team, and if I recall, very late addition. Wasn't it like midway through last season? And did extraordinarily well for us. He's got some pretty good stats. Smoothness is only single digit, which is too bad. Smoothness does dramatically improve the length of improves your tire wear, basically, so you can get an extra lap or 2 squeezed in with your tires if you've got higher smoothness, which is unfortunate we don't have it there, but everything else is pretty damn good. So he's going to chew through his tires a little bit more, but it's not the end of the world. One of the other most important things, or very important things for the drivers, are marketability over here, which determines how good they are at attracting sponsors. So Max over here is going to be pretty good for us because he's fairly marketable. He's got pretty good stats. He's got some unique traits. So on the first lap, he actually has a +4 to all the stats, so he might be able to make quite a jump right away, which is going to be really nice. He's rock solid here, which is the +2 focus. That's already calculated in, so he's got a natural focus of 11. He's got the 13 with the rock solid, but the first lap hero is not counted in here because it's there. And then we've got a temporary thing, buttered up. We made him special. I think we there was an event. This is before we recruited him, maybe, or something like that. Or no, didn't we have a weird bugged event where we could like butter him up, but he was already on our team? I made the mistake of trying to impersonate the owlbear with his neck. Yeah. Sponsorship rates increase racing league. I don't know. We're going to take a look at that. Yeah, owlbear sort of got done wrong. I think the idea originally, I think I was going to recruit one of them. I was going to let owlbear, I think, finish the season. And I was going to pick up Max first as a reserve driver and then replace them. But I think I just had selected the wrong thing or whatever and just kicked out owlbear right away, which turned out to be fine. Owlbear for a while was looking like she may have been our primary driver, but despite the fact that it said that she had a lot of improvement left, she really wasn't improving, certainly not improving as quickly as Maritson over here, who was improving like crazy. Now, the downside with Maritson, who does have stupendously good stats, including 6 smoothness, he makes tires go forever, is his marketability is not fantastic. It's at 49% right now because he's got a 20% boost from the fact that he won the European Racing Series last year, our old series. So he won with that one. He's also trying out some modeling stuff. For a few weeks, he's going to have about 50% marketability, but then he's going to drop back down to what, like 20% marketability or something like that, I guess. Yeah, I guess 19% is his actual base marketability. And as far as I know, there's nothing that sort of changes that base number. It's just these traits. Currently, these are tied or timed. They're going to time out, which is too bad. You've got a rival with Yonda Steer, which doesn't matter in any way whatsoever. So he does bring down the marketability a little bit, which is too bad because that's important for sponsors. Now, our team marketability is 100%. It's as good. We can't get that any higher no matter what happens. Our team marketability is maxed out. So the team marketability plus the others averaged out gives us a marketability overall of 75.3%, which gives us a 4-star sponsor approval. It would be great to replace Maritson with someone with more marketability, but at this time, there's really no one with better driver stats than him that we could hire. So, yes, John's daughter, Yondatir, which someone had pointed out is like that Icelandic sort of, it's like Johnson, but John's daughter. Jons Dottir or whatever. So yeah, female is his rival. Oh, it's chaos. I pick my wine from Merlot, California, barefoot. Hey, it's amazing. California. It's so funny. The story of we're not going to get into it, but it's so funny that like California wine was like just kind of crapped on internationally, especially by the snooty Italians and French for a long time, and then in blind taste tests, it turns out that they were as good, if not better, and way cheaper and things. And it just shows. I don't know. It's really interesting. Reading up about like sort of wine tasting and snobbery and being able to identify different things and stuff like that. Even experts with the, in the dark can have a hard time telling the difference between a white and a red wine. It's like, wow, you think of these as so different, but yeah. Okay, then you totally ship Maritson and Jonsdottir. Excellent. Okay, that sounds great. We're going to hold off on, well, I was going to say, we've got 3, which is all we're going to get. I don't think you ever get a 4th sponsor offer because you want to wait maybe until the last possible minute before a race to pick a sponsor so that more offers come in, but I don't think that's going to be the case over here. So it looks like you should pick one of these. These are all the sponsors here on the left-hand side. The race bonus sponsors are all the ones that offer a bonus for positions in certain races, depending on how you do. 10th and above, 13th and above, 12th and above. Honestly, in this league, at the start, it is going to be difficult to get some good finishes. 10th and above, and there's no upfront payment over here. I don't think we're going to go with Nippon over here. I think that's going to be maybe not so great. What I like about the Golden Tiger, though, is it's got the lowest win requirement. It has an upfront payment, and it pays about the same if we get the bonus as Luxina. Luxina does need a 12th instead of a 13th. On the plus side, Luxina is only a 6 race deal, so we'll be able to refresh and take another one at that point. But as a per race amount, the 900,000 versus 300,000, I think I'm gonna go with Golden Tiger over here. Mm-hmm. Like your dad is Jon, so I'm Jonsson. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're gonna Tiger the best. I mean, it's a big cat. We gotta go. I mean, who doesn't love big cats? So we'll take that. We'll get nearly another £1 million of cash to go with. We've got about 4 million in the bank currently. We did spend a lot on the base stats of our car. That's one of the things we didn't do before. There's still a little bit. Oh, my neck. Oh, it hurts. There's still a bit of unknown as to whether or not these stats sort of carry over properly going forward, and if investing in this is worth it or not. We did it this time to see if it would sort of push us forward on those going forward. But certainly the parts do. Now, in this league, we should talk about this. I know there's a lot of prep time, but it's worth talking about. Where is it? Is it standings? Current rules. There we go. So the Asia Pacific Super Cup has different rules than in the previous league. We have qualifying now, which we didn't before. Apparently a fast pit line time, so we can do that pretty quickly. Pit stop events will happen semi-sequentially. Refueling, if active, and parts fixes happening simultaneously. Yeah, okay. So you do tires first, then you can refuel and start fixing at the same time. We get bonus points for fastest lap. Oh, the driver in the pole position, so the person who comes in first in qualifying gets another 2 bonus points. That's really interesting. Fuel tanks can last up to 80% of the race distance in this league. I think we were 40% before. Which means, so between the bigger tank and the Cortez tires apparently being tougher, these might be single pit stop races. Single pit stop races are likely possible. Whether or not that's the fastest, though, we're going to have to make some decisions. We can have driver aids. That's interesting. So there's a spec engine, which is too bad because we actually had a pretty good engine. Our designer is really good at making engines. So the engines are just spec. So everyone's got the exact same engine. But unlike the previous league, nothing else is a spec part. The previous league started with the front and rear wing being spec. And then we added in gearbox, I think, is another spec part. We may be able to push for more of that as well. We may like to do that. But yeah. Qualifying, we can do weight stripping, which we've never had to deal with before. Equality focused merit payments. No difference in prize money awarded top to bottom. All teams are rewarded equally for the performance over the course of the season. Now that's interesting. So we get exactly the same prize money wherever we come out. This is going to be really good for our first season. Really good for our first season. High speed tires possible. Okay. Only the top 5 drivers get points. So everyone gets paid, but only the top 5 actually get points. So we're not probably going to get many points, if any, at all in this first season, but we'll do what we can. You want a stronger gearbox with 2 more gears? Yeah, maybe. Right now, so if we look at our car's performance right now, we actually have surprisingly acceptable high-speed corners right now. 8th overall and not necessarily that far down. High-speed corners are mostly determined by the this rear wing tech. So we're probably going to want to attack the things we're the worst at, and so that's low-speed corners, which would be the front wing, or acceleration, which are really the 2 lowest over here. I'm tempted to start on the acceleration first, because I kind of want my gearboxes to hit really high reliability as quickly as possible, because it's one of the things that is relatively difficult to replace mid-race. And normally I don't care about improving the performance of the spec parts too much because they probably start at 80%. And the engines, yeah, 80%. But I did set these. No, I guess we need these. I will want to max out these the spec part for the engine to 100% as quickly as possible. The reason being that you really burn through the reliability on this. The reliability on the engine, more than anything else, is a resource you can expend during a race by activating more aggressive driving modes. So we're going to want to raise this, but yeah, we have to go and fix some others. I guess I put the gearboxes in here because my plan was not necessarily to develop the gearbox first. Front wing brakes. But what was I thinking of designing? Maybe the suspension? Since that's not currently being worked on? Yeah, so the, let's talk about our designer here, Vasily over here, Sokolov, and what he's good at. He's really poor at developing the front wing. Now, as far as I can tell, the only thing that lead designer stats do is add extra sort of max performance or something like that. So it's not quite as critical as we originally expected for some of these. So yeah, it's a little weaker there. I guess some of the stronger stuff with the suspension and the brakes. I think the reasoning for the improvements, so I started improving reliability of things, but not including the suspension, is because I think I was thinking about designing the suspension first. And as a bonus, I think the suspension does get designed fairly quickly. So maybe I will go ahead with that plan still. That might not be the worst thing in the universe, so maybe we'll do that. Base time, 9.7 days. You can see the gearbox base time. Oh, it's telling me after the race, but it doesn't matter. None of these are going to be usable in the first race regardless, because it's going to get created with too low of a reliability. Maybe we could sneak in the rear wing, because it's quick development, but I think we'll go ahead and do this. I don't remember if there's Canadian Grand Prix in the Asia Pacific Cup, but if there is, that's usually minimum 4-stop race because the race length is tons of laps. They give you ultras and softs. Oh, that's interesting. All right, let's go with this. This is the first time this season that we design a part, so we really can't do much with it. There's no reason in using the special one over here. I think we're just going to give you... Well, I was going to say, we just want to give you some raw stats, but actually, here's the thing. The reliability boost over here is not usually very important because it doesn't change the maximum. It just changes the reliability of the part when it comes out of our design plan. And then usually you go and improve it. But for this first part, we actually might want to give it the extra reliability boost because we're just going to use this as an interim, and then we're going to design at least 2 more better versions of suspension probably and use that. I think I really like that over here. Or maybe what we'll do is we'll just grab this, and then even in the second part we'll do this, and then I don't know, maybe this one over here for some performance and it's slower, and maybe we'll just use those and start working on something else. I don't know. But I think we're going to go ahead with this. Reliability is good for weight stripping too. Right, because weight stripping is something you do sort of like pre-race or mid-race or something, and it lowers reliability. So yeah, there's more of a resource there. That is kind of interesting. Okay, let's start with this. Budget on our part repair is going to be a little bit rough. We'll see. And yeah, improving parts. Yeah, I'm improving a single one of the front wings because it's actually not too shabby. Actually, none of the front wings are particularly bad. I don't know why I'm only working on one. Not that it really matters because... Oh, I think I just put a part in here so that something would get the benefit of the passive boost. Because we have all our staff working on reliability, which is exactly what we want. Is there anything else I want to do before we get started over here? We don't have anything to fit. Our HQ is being developed. We spent a lot of money. I think that might be another place where some of our money went, is doing that. But again, we want to develop our headquarters. We want to basically max out our headquarters and just be done with it at some point. Nothing with the drivers. We can double check the pit crew before the race. Although everyone is fully rested, which is good. They may or may not be the best ones in any particular role. Yeah, see, this one, we do have, well, we might want to use you. I was going to say, we have O'Donnell here, who does have a 12 on the front jack. But with an 83 stamina, it's always going to lead to mistakes. See, Draper, only 11, but 97 stamina means very unlikely to have any kind of errors. Whereas tires plus refueling, 12 with an 87. Hey, I can't scroll this? Oh, if I mouse over here, it lets me do it. That's really annoying. I think these are probably okay here. Ask boss for some money. That's a great question. I wonder if we can do that now. We're very secure. We will lose some chairman happiness, but we'll probably be able to get it back. It's too early. We're gonna have to wait. We have to do maybe only one race, might be a couple of races. We will go and ask you. All right, let's just continue for now. You know, we can probably get rid of some of the pit crew members, but you need to have like enough to cycle through them, so that they don't get overly tired. Okay, suspension design is done. So let's go to improving this bad boy. We want to keep working the gearboxes. Let's drop, okay, this brake at 69%. Let's drop you. Drop that. And then please keep working over here. Okay. And then I've got a big queue of scouting in here, so we're gonna be there. 69%, nice, yeah. All right, it's gonna be our first time with qualifying. Literally no idea what to expect for that. Okay, sponsors over here. We're gonna take Golden Tiger. We still have some old sponsors from our previous season, but obviously third and second is not gonna happen here in the new league. So we'll take Golden Tiger. And as for parts fitting, so the only question is, do we want to fit our new suspension? And I guess the answer is yes, because we don't have any reliability on that one anyway. So we'll do this. I don't think it matters which one of the two drivers we put it on. Martin is still theoretically our better of the two drivers, although Porter has done some insane things for us. Oh, thank you for telling me to start a new part. I forgot about that. I'm going to go right into another suspension. I think for this one, we're just going to go for max raw stats. It'll take longer to develop the part because of the plus 5 days, and we'll have to spend longer improving its reliability, but I think this is going to be fine. Yeah, we're draining through our money pretty quickly, but I think it's going to be okay. And then we may go and do something else after this, rather than go into the even higher quality parts, because we sort of just need some baseline value across a few different things right now. Okay, let's talk about this track. So, 33 laps. Now, what's interesting is that in the old league, because I think we had a 40% fuel tank, that would have been 13 or 14 laps per fuel tank. But now we're at 80, so presumably our fuel tank might last up to 26 laps, but we may not want to do that. We're going to have to figure out what our tires can do. Fuel burn does say very high, tire wear is high, and oh, we only have a choice of 2 compounds, soft, it'll be super softs and softs over here. We had, at some point, one of the rules got changed in the previous league where 3 compounds were available.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
Change the budget for next year's car. Here's the thing. As far as I can tell, we may want to lower it down for now, because as far as I can tell, all this does is bank stuff for later. The more you save, the better part suppliers you can afford, but you could also just not spend it, right? Like, if I did this, and I would end up with more money, I could still just save the money for next year's car, as far as I know. But maybe we'll just put it in the middle and do that. As far as I can tell, this does nothing other than it stops you from accidentally overspending. So we might do this, because our budget's not going to be fantastic. Because ours, Wedge of Brie. Ooh, I do love Brie. Had a rough morning at the mechanic after being rear-ended. Oh, man! Now I'm stuck on work on a Monday. I need some calming Quill 18 to turn my day around. Keep up the good work. You help more than you know. Well, Wedge of Brie, I'm really sorry about that. God damn. I've only ever been in one collision. And it's when a deer ran across the highway. And, yeah. It was pretty panic-inducing. I mean, fine, you know, just fix up the car a little. It was fine that way, but, like, man, I do not, like, yeah, driving makes me nervous. But yeah, you'll spend that money if you see it sitting in the bank. And that's probably true, Banana. You know I would. So yeah, cost per race right now, but we don't know. Like, if we're getting even earning splits, we might still, theoretically, hopefully, we'll still be turning a profit on every race. Otherwise, why are we even in the sport, right? Okay. Rain during practice, clear during qualifying, rainy during the race. Kind of on the warm side as well. Okay, well, let's go in. Man, so many things are different. Plus, it's been a while since we played, so there's a couple of things that I'm a little bit unsure about. But first of all, these are going to be new tracks. Also, though, just the to me, just the change in the fuel load is going to be interesting. Do we underfuel our cars? Do we go for a two-stop strategy and underfuel? Well, I think it's going to depend on how many laps you can get out of these various tires. It's 33 laps, right? Yeah. Because the thing that still annoys me, when you're in practice mode, it doesn't show you how many laps the track is there. Because it can be really useful to figure out, you know, because you get to know your tire wear there. So it's going to be rainy in practice. As far as I know, there's weight stripping. Look at that. Performance gain, reliability loss. I don't think we're going to do any weight stripping right now because our cars are so garbage as is. Yeah, we'll underfuel based on tires. I think so. One thing to note, we may want to start the race fully fueled. We'll have to make a couple of decisions about that. Because if you're fully fueled, you will run slower, but then you don't have to spend as much time refueling either, right? So you start fully fueled, you give it a tiny bit more for that missing 20% on a pit stop, and you go to then like that, and hopefully, what you want to do, no matter what, you want to end the race with 0 fuel left in the tank, or, you know, 0.1 laps worth of fuel left in the tank. That's your ultimate goal. You can shift whether you could start with less fuel, so you'd run a little faster early on, but then you have to spend more time refueling in the pits, or the other way around. And we might want to do a little bit of tweak just so that our drivers aren't synced up. We're going to go with these two main drivers. We've got Emma there as a backup. She's just, you always get like this freebie. We don't actually have Emma as someone who's on our payroll. It's just an extra generated driver to make sure that you don't miss anything. So, tires, what do we got? So, wow, these super softs are estimated to last 6 to 8 laps. This was with Porter. They might last a little bit longer with Maritson because he has a much higher smoothness, but that is super short. Holy crap. I think we'll do softs. Although, here's the thing. When it comes to race day, we might just be doing everything in the wet anyway. But what we'll do is we'll practice on the softs because the supers are clearly too short. Unless it's intermittent rain, in which case we might do something else. I suppose we could practice in the wets. And then if we end up using them a lot, we do the performance. Okay, all this comes down to whatever tire we practice in, we might be able to get a boost on that particular tire compound come race day. So theoretically, we want to practice in whatever tire we think we're most likely to use as much as possible. We've also got qualifying, where qualifying we're going to want to do in super softs. And here's the thing. I don't know if you get to choose the expertise thing. You must be, because you can choose qualifying trim. The expertise thing for qualifying. So we could choose super soft expertise for that. But here's the thing. The expertise you get on a tire decreases the time penalty you have from using that compound, and the softest compound available for a race starts with a time penalty of 0, so you get no bonus until the tires get worn. So I think what we'll do is, well, we only have so many tires as well. Well, we're not going to need more than, we need 3 soft compounds for the race. Even if they don't last, the final stint would be, say, on super softs. So no matter what, we'll have enough of these. So I think what we'll do is we'll practice on the softs. Let me do the same thing over here. Although Maritson, you can see his super softs would last 8 to 10. The softs 12 to 14. We're still going to do the same thing here. And that's fine. All right, change setups. Some people go and, like, you know, you can find some numbers online, which will get you a little bit close. But I really like this mini game a lot, so I'm not gonna mess with it. I think I'll probably leave things basically where they are. And what I might do is just drop the downforce slightly, just to make sure. It's very unlikely that we're gonna have to move on the other side, so we sort of know in what direction we're gonna go in. The same thing with the speed balances. I'll sort of stick near one end of the green on all of them, because it'll be a little bit more obvious what direction to go into. So confirm, that was you over here. And you have you're looking for different things. Here, we'll go higher downforce. We'll, speed balance, we'll go towards more top speed. And a little bit more towards oversteer over there, because sure, why not? Yeah, hard cornering track. So it says for this track, it's high tire wear and high engine wear as well. So, let's see what we can do in the practice in the rain. As far as I know, there are no accidents that happen during practice, so being on the wrong tower compound on practice isn't really a problem. We're going to send you out. Qualifying trim, race trim. So that is very interesting. That is very interesting. So this will train us toward... I'm going to go race trim for now. It's going to be fine. But this could allow us to train and get a bonus for the qualifying phase. Yeah, we're going to forget about quali. I think that's going to be okay. We'll do race trim over here. And we'll basically do the thing where we bring them in, like, immediately, regardless. That's you. And then, yeah, race trim. We do have pretty good feedback. Depending on how it goes, we might actually be able to get, a few points in both. I don't know if you can choose your bonus, like one set of bonuses for qualifying and then another set of bonuses for race. I suspect you can. This is partially a street circuit, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of straight lines over here. Yeah, I gotta assume. Anyway, we'll do a double bring-in right away. Doesn't matter how long they're out. You get your feedback on your setup immediately. Quali trim isn't worth it. Definitely want max race trim first. Yeah, it's our first time doing quali stuff. All right, we're going to go pretty crazy on the downforce change. The handling was good. The speed balance is poor, so we need to go quite far for that. Let me do that, and then I'll give a little nudge to the handling just to see if we move from good to great, or if we go from good to poor, because that'll tell us what side we're going to go on over there. You can go right back out on exactly the same thing. That's fine. Downforce, very poor, so we know we're complete opposite side for max over here. Now, the actual numbers, worth noting, in the end, none of these numbers matter in and of themselves. The only number that matters is this percentage that you get at the end. And this determines a per lap penalty that you will have during the actual race. And the maximum penalty, I believe, is 1 second. So if you hit 0% versus 100%, you'll be 1 second per lap slower, which is a pretty big difference, don't get me wrong. But the only number you're chasing is this percentage over here. The speed balance was poor, so we'll go quite far over here. The handling was good. I'll give you an extra notch here. There you go. Just distance enough for when you started. And we'll go and fling you out. Okay. Yeah, I hear the mini qualifying, or the qualifying game, I've heard a lot of people say is kind of meh. It is enabled for this league. Maybe it's something that we'll want to vote out, given an opportunity. We'll see. Alright. Do another lap, then come in. I don't even know who, like, our various competitors will be here on this particular track, or this particular league. Oh, we're very poor on the arrow. So the arrow went the wrong way on Maritson. Because it was okay there, it's very poor there, so he must want the downforce, like, on the left edge. Because there's no way, from here to here, going from okay to very poor, there's no room over here for a good, great, excellent. It has to be on the other side. Wow. Now, for the handling, it was good, and became okay. So it was good there. So we actually want to go further to the right on the handling. So let's soften this up a little bit. Okay, that might be okay. Speed balance was poor there, is great here. By making some changes to the handling, a few things changed a little bit more. So we're going to go just to the left of the grate. Yeah, we may have to go a little further with the handling, we'll see. And we can do these. These tend to be good for slightly smaller adjustments than some of these others, but we're still just trying to find, like, vaguely where we should be here. We've actually gotten some pretty poor luck finding the sweet spot on our first stints here. Went from very poor, we're now good. I'm going to give you a little more downforce. See if that becomes great or goes to okay. The handling was good, became okay there, so we want to go to the extreme right. We want a lot of oversteer on this track. And the speed balance, so that's interesting. So yeah, you want quite a bit shorter profile over here. Something like that. Okay there, it's good there. Alright, let's try something like this. Thanks to slightly shorter practice, too, because I think normally it's 15. I think that's what we're having. Okay, that feels better. Excellent. There you go. Great across the board. That's what we like to see. What's our total number? 96%. Okay. It might be possible to shave another percentage off, but basically we're there. What I'll probably do is I'll give a slight tweak in... that's probably too much. A slight tweak in tire pressure. This gives a slight difference to handling and speed balance. We'll see if we end up with a number that's higher or lower than 96, and then we'll just choose whichever config has that. You're going to stay out until the end of the practice session, which isn't even that long, but we'll just go ahead and do that. Martin, we're going to consider to be done at this point. That's great. Porter, hello. Great, excellent, great, I think. I love this minigame. Oh no, great, excellent, good only. So we had, so a pour over there. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, very poor there. Poor here. Good here. I think it needs to be a little shorter gear ratios. Actually, a fair bit, because we got to find good to the great and maybe. That might be all. Clearly, the handling, which does get tweaked slightly with the speed balance, but barely so. What I might do is just tweak the arrow slightly, just so that the handling stays basically where it was. And then we'll see what the numbers are. I don't think there's any reason to pull Porter back in at this point. We might not hit perfectly, but we should get better from the speed balance. It should be above 91 regardless, and we might be able to make some last-minute tweaks back to the arrow one more time after we're done. But I'm just going to leave them out for the rest of the practice as well, to try to get as much as we can. Okay. Oh, we still have 6 minutes left. Wow, yeah, we should get a fair amount of knowledge. That's really nice. Quill, I never played this game. Would you mind sharing your opinion about it? Oh, I think it's fantastic. Yeah. It's very good. There's mobile versions as well, including like one that's like kind of like online and stuff. Okay, level 3 race trim. We don't have enough time. As I say, we could have maybe brought you in and gotten you one level of quality trim or something, but I don't think that's going to be much of anything whatsoever. So all the drivers seem to be pretty happy with this. We'll just let them finish. The mobile versions they're not mobile ports, right? They're really developed mobile versions, and there's a few different ones. But yeah, they're apparently very good, and a lot of people play the mobile version. I don't, because I'm mostly at the computer, right? I don't have like commutes and things like that where I would typically do that. And our actual times here in practice were at the bottom, which isn't a surprise. I mean, we weren't really using, we didn't wait for like the sweet spot in the dry to do a couple of things on supers or just do stuff in inters, and we weren't really looking for speed during the practice. So that's okay. This doesn't get used, although it can be a hint of things. But it's not a surprise that we're going to be at the bottom. In fact, it wouldn't be a surprise if we qualified dead last. All right, qualifying. So yeah, I've never done this before. Oh, that's right. Our sponsors get split between race and quali. You get half the bonus from qualifying at a certain point and half the bonus from finishing at a certain point. That's true. The weight stripping, is it a one-time thing? If I strip for quali, can I, like, just leave it back to default for the race? Or is they separate? It's the first time doing qualification. So, yeah, these trims don't help. I mean, we'll take that. Not that it's necessarily going to matter for what we're doing here. Medium tires. We're not using medium tires. So, we don't even need this. So, we'll just grab this for quali. Once you strip, it's that way until the end of the race. Okay, I mean, that would sort of make sense. That's what I expected, but yeah. Let's take a look at what we ended up with. We only ended up with a 92 here, because we actually got our downforce into the good category. So we actually know that the downforce has to be slightly, if we want to hit excellent, has to be slightly to the left of that previous great. So that's going to be slightly better than before. We know where the sweet spot is for handling. Let me go to the speed balance for a sec. That's interesting. It was good there. It's still only good there. Actually, like, might want even more acceleration. I mean, unless... Or... No, there's no way there's a great and excellent from between here to there. Whereas this was... yeah, nice. Like, there was good there. That's good. So the acceleration greatness must be right on the left edge over here for the speed balance. Same thing with the downforce. Now, it sucks to do this a little bit blind, but I think it's going to be okay. There you go. Now bring back the tire camber or tire pressure. So the handling will stay there. I think we're going to end up with better than 92% over here. Or worst case scenario will be about the same. Now, how much it matters at this point? Like a 1% difference is only 1/100th of a second average per lap. Obviously, you want to squeeze out every last bit, but it's not the end of the world. For quali, clearly we're going to want to go on supers. You always automate quali. Okay. And over here, you did end up in a 98, which is great, and you're going to be on the supers, which is okay. Select session bonus. You mean this? Oh, I had to pick something because there was an empty slot and there was technically something. Okay, it's fine. It's not going to do anything for us, but sure. Never understood how to do quali. Oh, so there is... I didn't realize there was a manual thing for quali. Yeah, we're going to try it once, but it is my understanding that the qualifying minigame sucks and that most people simulate it. We're going to manually do it once to see how bad it is. So, we're paused. Everyone's pitted. I mean, in IRL, what you want to do is sort of avoid getting people to come out kind of at the same time so they don't back up each other. And maybe, you know, if you don't get some good laps, bring them in again and then put them out on another fresh soft set of supers, which you'd be okay on. I mean, it's dry, so yeah. Send you out. Way to beat. What the fudge is this? Clean air optimization. Okay, alright. Now, presumably, this is just to try to help us space things out and get the optimal temperature right before they start their hot lap. We want to bring the tires up to temp. Minigames to ensure they're far enough apart and you get clean air. Uh-huh. Well, Maritson came out first, and I want some temp. So I'm going to max him out. Yeah, I'm tell you what, I'll auto on over here. We'll manage Maritson. We'll leave Porter on auto. And then we'll just automate. Oh, man, that heated up fast. Let's break temp. Oh, tires are over. Oh, wow, this seems really boring. Seems really dumb. He's doing his actual lap now, so I can't mess with this anymore. How is he in corners? I guess, yeah. True. So maybe on the way into corners, I want to bring it up. Like, maybe, okay, I want to wait until just... So as they're approaching the corner, they're hitting their braking point. If I need brake temp, then I crank it up. If I don't, I can bring it down. And then once they're in the corner, presumably after the braking point, then I can flip the things to just do the tires. I can see why everyone hates this mode. You constantly adjust it. Yeah, this is what the drivers are supposed to do. This is not why I play a management game. This is what the drivers are being paid for. Oh, Martin just purple. Well, I mean, he was one of the first ones out, so it sort of makes sense. Yeah, then back down to green. The purple means like a best overall. He did purple the last sector, but again, he was, pretty early in. The tires won't have gotten the drop off yet. P3 for now. I doubt that'll last. I can't bring you in now. Or do you? Oh, you're automatically bringing in. You did your out lap. You did your hot lap. Now you're bringing it in automatically. Okay. Yes, I have heard the F1 mechanics radio. But I want to be I'm the team primary more than mechanic. I can see why people automate this, because it doesn't actually seem very interesting. It seems very twitchy and not actually all that interesting. I love doing the practices. I don't like... automating the practice, you'll get something that's pretty good. But, like... Psh. Okay, I'm going to send you out on the same tires. No, you know what? We've got lots of softs. There... Oh! And... Okay, well, I can make some trim adjustments still. But we know we're at 98, so that's okay. I'll send you out on that. And yeah, we'll just automate that next step. And I mean, I guess we can work out the air and things, but... What did you end up with? See, 97% here, too. Have you go out and do another stint. Yeah, automating practice gives hard. It's fine, but not as good. And I like the... I like the practice minigame. Some people hate it. I can't blame them for it. But if you're into it, like I am, it's great. And yeah, I guess we could keep doing it. We don't mind churning through all of our softs, because we might want to have one set of super softs for, for sliding it in somewhere, but otherwise, we don't really care. God damn it, that was not great. I mean, we have the worst cards in the field, pretty much, so... It would be cool to get the 100k bonus. And then swap tires, send you out again. Yeah, this is not fun. Maybe I could have spaced these two guys out a little bit more. I don't know how clean the air is or not, but... When you code dive next time, check if qualifying helps with lap times or just the starting position. I mean, it should just be starting position. I don't see why or how you would make the qualifying time... See, he's being held up a little bit over there. How you would make the qualifying time affects the actual race behavior. Oh, that's the end. We're out of time anyway. We did get our last lap in here. Martin did improve. Actually, they both improved. All right. I mean, we didn't hit the sponsor objective, but I'm surprised we're not 19 and 20. Yeah, we'll just automate it quietly next time. Yeah, 14th and 17th for a team that's probably not going to be very good. Okay. Race day. All right, we've seen some water drops from the helicopter shot over here. 66 thousandths of a second off. Of what? Oh, of getting our bonus? Oh, damn, was it that close? Damn. Yeah, so, yeah, those two bonuses is fine. And yeah, we still get, yeah, the race trim makes a lot of sense. Oh, actually, yeah. Race trim. Because we're not likely to use softs that much. So the way it works is this thing here. whatever, so you get a time penalty based on your tires, especially as they degrade, and this performance increase over here decreases that time penalty you're getting, so you get 10% less time penalty. The race trim is still a little bit unclear because the sort of code for it is a little hard to read, but it's pretty substantial. It affects quite a lot of bonuses over here, so it's kind of nice if you can do that. And since, yeah, we may not run on softs at all the entire race, no point in taking this, and having the faster pit stops is going to be gorgeous. So water over here, so it is predicted, we still don't have a super upgraded weather center, unfortunately. It is warm, and as far as we can tell, going to continue to rain for as long as we know, until X number of laps. Water, it's not coming down super fast. I think we're just going to start on inters. Yeah, we're not going to go out on softs or super softs. I think we're going to start on intermediates. The first lap, our slicks would do pretty good on, but then partway into the second lap, we would definitely start to lose huge performance on slicks, and then it would only get worse. So we're definitely going to do inters. We don't need full wets until it's quite a lot wetter than this. But yeah, we're not going to start on super softs. No need to make any more adjustments over here to the trim. Start on intermediates. So with the fueling, again, if we underfuel now, we'll go a little faster for the first few laps, but we'll have to spend longer refueling later on. The fuel delay, I can't remember. Is it 0.1 seconds per lap? Per lap worth of fuel you have in here? I think so. I think it's 0.1. I'd have to double check the numbers because it has been a while. But so we're gonna run slower like this than if we did this. But here we'd have to refuel more, and refueling, the amount of time you lose per lap of carrying the fuel is less than the amount of time you lose from having to refuel it. Oh, there we go, 1.56. There it is, thank you. It was like, somewhere like this. I forgot that it was on screen. I thought it was an encode thing. But I think it takes 0.7 seconds per lap per fuel lap, per liter of fuel. It's not a liter, but per liter of fuel to put it back in. So I think the math dictated that it's always best. Again, the goal is to minimize how much you fuel your cars. How much time in pit stop is spent refueling. On the other hand, since this is one of the first races of the season, there's a very good chance we're gonna have to do repairs, and you can refuel and repair at the same time. You can't upgrade your tanks. The only thing you can do, it's a league-based thing. So the league is, the fuel tanks are sized to handle about 80% of the race. What you can do is improve your fuel efficiencies in a few different ways. So it is kind of interesting, since we're likely going to have to do repairs at some point on our cars, and you can repair and refuel at the same time. I think this is an excellent race for us to underfuel from the start. Our intermediates for Porter estimated to last 10 to 12 laps. Most likely after 10, we'll start to get a pretty serious drop-off, because we'll be in the third quadrant of performance, the third performance band. There's no cliff on the intermediates. You can ride them all the way down to 0% without hitting a cliff, but they're still performance bands. I think I like this idea. What I might do is, we'll unlikely have to do repairs on the first stop. Let's do something like, if we did something like 24 laps of fuel, that should be 2 full stints on inters, or inters plus softs, for example. And then, so we're going to save 3 laps worth of fuel at that point. Yeah, I think it's not quite 2 laps per bar over here, because it looks like the 6 or the 5 bars handles 8 laps, so it's a little fuzzy and hard to read over there. Maybe I'll split the difference. I'll do something like this. We'll probably have to put some fuel in the second lap, but we'll be a little faster early on. No, I don't like that. Let's assume we're going to run 2 inters, or inters into softs, which is really 10 laps each, I should think of. So let's do 22. That'll give us 2 stints of 10 plus a little bit of playroom. Oh, we're going to want to be on a higher engine mode. No, we're not, because we have no engine reliability. Oh, no, we have 80% engine reliability, which isn't 100. All right, I'm going to go with 22. Now, Maritson can go a little longer because of his smoothness. I'm going to give him the full fuel here, and we're going to assume he's going to just stop a little lower. What's the amount of laps on wets? I think the wet duration and the inter duration is the same. Yeah. And in this situation, they happen to be very similar to the softs, but they're not indexed the same way at all. I think we'll do a full on Maritson. Now he is going to start a little further ahead. He might want to run more aggressive, but maybe we can run him in more aggressive engine mode for a little bit longer. All right, let's just do it. Screw it. Done. We're going to start everyone in the double red mode, where, you know, during the high competitive thing, we'll probably pull back. Well, I'll have to pull them back fairly quick, both of them, because we only have 80% engine stuff. What percentage is best time to change tires? So that's a very fuzzy answer. Yeah, oh, yeah, yes, you're right. I could launch on slicks now for the first 10 seconds of the race. No, inters is definitely correct. Thank you for letting me know, game, but inters are definitely correct. Will Jonsotir compete? I think we left Jonsotir in the previous league. So we got Partanen, Fox, Engelhardt. Oh, Woodford, Sharp, D'Oste, Zarate, Hugh, Sylvander, Margate, Nightingale, Ingledew. We're starting next to Smith over here from Thornton Motorsports. Then we've got Mikhailovic and Dylan behind us. And then Max is starting next to Samuel Blanc. Samuel the White from France. And then rear of the pack, Mesilela and Kenjiro. Okay. What's your day job? This is my day job now. This has been my day job for quite a few years now. So, interestingly enough, Woodford started on the softs. Look at that. I feel like I was answering another question. Or I was going to answer a question that I wasn't sure. That one dude on soft tires. Yeah, that's... Oh, Max does have first lap hero. That's true. It'll be really interesting to see how we go from there. Oh, right, the tire duration. Yeah, we'll talk about that probably nonstop as we go here. Let's start the race. So yeah, Max has got the first lap here. Look at him just crush it. He got caught up in traffic there. Oh, someone went wide. Martin also ranked up as well. Who's this that went wide? I'm trying to click on you. Can't you click on cars from here? Oh, no. I'd have to... Is it Sharp? Ah, it's Sharp right over here. That's who it is. Makes sense because I lost some position. Okay. Maritson fighting to keep the 12th. Got a better angle on the inside over here. There you go. Slotted in perfectly well into the 12th. Porter's still 16th. Rain's coming down. Looks like it might start to die off and flatten out, which might mean we make a transition from inters into slicks. We don't know yet. So this is our tire wear over here. The other thing we're going to be very concerned about, I mean, fuel counts, we know we're going to refuel anyway. The higher engine mode does burn a lot more fuel, but the other thing it does, higher engine mode reduces your engine quality. Everyone's going to start with about 80%. Some of these guys may put in engine reliability work, but 80% over there. So the tip is you want to run in the highest possible engine mode all the time. Even though it burns more fuel, which means you have to carry more fuel, which means you have to refuel more, you always, mathematically, we did crunch some numbers, you want to run in the highest engine mode you can without running out of fuel and without causing your engine to explode. Pro tip, don't make your engine explode. But otherwise that. The tires are a little fuzzier. So once the condition of the engine starts dropping, I'm going to drop engine modes. We can, is it hold tab? Yeah, or hit tab. And then don't move the mouse off. Well, that's interesting. We can see what everyone's doing. Everyone's in max engine mode right now. Some of them have pulled back on the tires, which is probably not unreasonable. I think I will keep in the highest engine mode for now. I think I'll pull them both on the tires. Exploding is bad. Remember these pearls of wisdom. Yeah. So, the tires and their performance is weird. So with each tire, there are 3 performance bands. When they're fresh, they're in the topmost performance band, and they're operating the fastest. Then at a certain point, and it's good for that for a certain number of laps. Now, if you're running on a more aggressive tire mode, you don't actually get the full laps. Like, it's supposed to be 4 laps at the best, but you're running on push or attack, you won't get 4 laps out of the best possible mode. I'm going to drop them both to neutral, because we are getting a little hot. It is a hot day today, despite the water. So they're going to run their best thing for a certain amount of laps, or a certain percentage on this. And then they're going to go into their medium, where they're going to start to accrue more penalty per lap time, basically. So depending on what tire compound you have, the amount of time you're going to lose per lap is going to vary. And then they get into the third or worst performance band, and they're even slower. And depending on the compound, there's also a cliff where they lose stupid amounts of performance. But it's a little weird because what compound... Man, they're getting really hot here. Oh, and I need to check the engine condition. Still at 80%. Still at 80%. I guess that's why everyone is running on the highest mode, because they're probably seeing exactly the same thing. Now, the tire temperature sort of doesn't matter. The only time tire temperature matters is when it is 100% or 0%. Nothing else on the tire temps matter. We'll see how it does on yellow, if it keeps climbing or not, and if we have to pull back over there. High engine mode heats the tire tube. As far as we can tell, no, from my code dive. That may be incorrect, but when I did the code dive, as far as I could tell, the higher engine modes did not contribute to engine heat, or to tire heat. It's possible they do, but probably not in any kind of significant way. And nothing that I saw, obviously. Alright, I will pull these back. Who knows, maybe it does have something to do with it, because at some point... Yeah, there we go, we start to lose engine condition. Okay. So we're going to pull back, and in fact, we have... So Woodford, that's interesting. He did gain some territory. He started in 4th. He did shoot ahead on that first lap in the soft. That is a bold move. And he's now entering the point of wetness where the slicks are starting to be a problem, but he's churned through half his quality anyway. Was that some sort of, like, 300 IQ play to start on the super softs? Just to get in front? I don't know. Yeah, he lost some time in the last sector. Yeah, this gap was probably going to change. Oh, Engelhardt! Ha! Ha! The best driver in the previous league just crashed out. That's nice to see for us. Yellow flag in Sector 3. No safety cars, though. Looking at the wet... looks like we're going to still have to be on inters. It is drying up a little, or... It's still drizzling, but not very hard. The tire temp is definitely getting up there. I'm going to drop these. We're going to see if the drivers complain. Maybe this FX tire temp, but again, there was no indication. Yeah, they're complaining it's too hot. I'm going to push them back to conserve for a bit to drop the tire temp ever so slightly on both of them. Because when you hit 100% tire temp, you double the degradation. Same thing on 0%. So you want to avoid hitting the max part if you can, because you just start to churn through it a lot more. Porter should go through his tire faster because of the reduced smoothness. We are still planning on pitting him first. I don't think we can check the other driver's temperature, can we? No, I mean, we can see their tire wear, but I don't think we can see their actual temp. We can see what mode they're driving in. The drivers are considered equal, and they are fairly equal in stats. Martin a little bit better, but Max Porter's not that far behind. I mean, he's 5 places behind right now. But he's actually done well. I think he did come out ahead of Martin in a couple of races last season. It's been a while since we've recorded, so we'll see. Rain, still predicted to continue to go on. Yeah. Although amount of water on track is dipping down. It'll be more relevant for Martin. There's no way that Porter doesn't come in for a second set of intermediates. Oh yeah, there we go. The temperature's starting to go down a little bit. I'm happy I didn't just fuel for 1 lap. Martin creating a bit of a roadblock for everyone else. Yeah, holding people up surprisingly well here, which is great. It looks like he is going to get passed at some point. So the people behind Martin, what are they doing? So we may want to go back into neutral tire mode here. And actually, I might go into high engine mode for a little bit. Yeah, just as we get past, which is unfortunate because now overtaking is going to be hard. Porter's sort of backing some people up as well. It's okay. I mean, we're not expecting miracles out of this first race. What's placement expectation for the season? So as a team, 9th and above is all of our expectations. So there's 10 teams. So basically, don't come in dead last in the Constructors' Championship. Or the Team Championship here, I suppose. Yeah, I think we have to go back to conserve on the tires, prevent them from overheating. So our goal here is mostly to keep to just a 2-stop race. And yeah, Porter is definitely going to do inters. We may... He's going to hit his lowest band relatively soon, We may want to pit a little early. Where's the pit stop on this track? Okay, this is the pit entrance here. I think I'm going to bring Porter in on the next lap. I don't know, that may be way too early. And I'm not going to change engine modes or tire modes over here, despite getting past. The thing is, we're sort of expected to get past here. We can save some engine mode for the end of the race when we sort of have a better idea as to what our quality is there. Yeah, in the Asia-Pacific Cup, currently, you're only getting points for, the top, I think, 5 or 6 places are the only ones who get points. Although every place gets the same amount of money, which is interesting. And since the top 5 is really unlikely, really, what we'd like to do is end up in our sponsor objective range, which currently we still are. Only one car needs to be above the sponsor objective. So as long as one of our cars finishes 13th or above, we'll be okay. All right, we can bring up the tire performance a little bit on Porter, and we might get him to do... Now, I don't know what the cliff on the inters is. Well, sorry, the cliff is 0%, but I don't know what the lowest performance band on the inters are. I'm thinking Porter's going to complain about the tire performance fairly soon. I think I'm going to try to get him to do one more lap. Oh, there we go, fairly worn. Okay, sounds good. Let's burn through the rest of the tire that you've got right now. We'll get you to come in pit now. So that message about fairly worn, that's what happens when they enter the lowest performance band, which is different from the cliff. It's still going to be wet enough. We're going to inters. It looks like, depending on how it goes, if we can conserve Martsen's tires... Nah, you'd have to conserve for way too long. You'd have to conserve for another, like... What is that going to be, like 8 more laps? Maybe 7 more laps to justify coming in on slicks after. So unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. So we actually might just want to burn... Yeah, I'm going to burn Martsen's tires a little more aggressive. We'll put him on the next lap. And just put him on a fresh set of inters immediately. Here's a question. Do we want to do a parts top-off right now? If we want to add suspension, the 9.8 seconds to bring it back up... The thing is, I think the repair time is the same no matter what the damage is. As I say, we might want to sneak in some refueling now while we top off a part, but I'm not sure it's worth it for 7%. He's going to need a little fuel, though. Maybe I'll just put in, like, a little bit more fuel over here. And the plan will be to... Well, no, because the thing is, he's going to have to come in 10 to 12 laps regardless. I think we don't give any more fuel to Max Porter. Yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll have to refuel him for the final stint while doing some repairs as well. And the thing is, depending on the weather, this might be a 3-stop race. So we've got time to do more repairs later on. Now, one of the things, sort of... okay, it's not worth going fast here for the 1 second saving. In fact, so it is going to cost us 0.6 seconds, but not really. We're going to go safe on this change. Because it's not really going to cost us much. And a mistake could cost us quite a bit more than 2 seconds. Okay, we'll do that. And then you are going to go... Martsen, you're going to go to push. So you'll complain about worn tires on one more lap, but that's going to be okay. And yeah, we'll go to inters. We go to medium here. Yeah, your engine's actually not so bad yet. And they're still pushing the red, which is kind of amazing to me. All right, there goes the pit. So we are going to go to inters. Take a look real quick at the part condition. Yeah, there's not really enough to justify. I mean, front wing repair, 6 seconds. Actually, that's kind of appealing to me. So let's spend 6 seconds refueling. There we go. Something like that. Well, while we fix... Mike is covering the tire wear for Martsen. Oh, okay, I'll move it. Something like that. So I'm gonna do the front wing. Because that's actually a fairly big boost. And then we'll do this. One less part to worry about. And we are going to go fast. In the past, our experience so far is that the punishment, the risk from going fast, is generally worth this. Am I pitting too early on Maritson? No, he's about to hit his lowest performance ban on inters. Newman, he's about to hit his worst performance ban on inters. Now, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't have the numbers for the performance bans on inters. But I think the lowest band... Well, if it's like hard tires, I guess the lowest band isn't that bad. Because that's the thing. With super soft, or the softest compound, the difference between the best performance band and the lowest is insanely huge. It goes from 0-second penalty to like 5 seconds penalty, I think. Whereas if you're on the hard tires, it starts at something like a 3-second penalty and ends at something like a 4 or 4.5 seconds. So it's something but not as meaningful. The inters may be the same. What do we think, guys? Are we gonna wear the inters down to 0, and then maybe make them? Well, that's the thing. The problem here is we want to leave him out more, but we can't possibly leave him out long enough to make the swap to slicks. No matter what, when he comes in, he's gonna have to go into inters for like a short amount of time. We're pitting him early for a fresh scent of inters with the hope of going to slicks in the next stop. Yeah, so I'm still stopping now. I think that's sound strategy. Yeah, we're gonna swap now. And so the question is it worth repairing the wing? The thing is, if the wing doesn't degrade too much, we're going to keep going. But that's pretty low number. I think we're going to do this. It's one less part that there might be a risk of having to fix later on. It could be that the rain gets even worse, in which case we'll be happy to go into wets. Or we'll have information. The next stop we'll know if we're going to inters, to slicks, or to wets. All right, let's do this. Go into neutral for the tempo over there. That's going to be good. And Porter. Okay, engine's still okay. And yeah, you can like burn through these tires. I don't even care right now. Just going to switch to neutral when he comes into the pit range. We got whiskey and chocolate from Bananas with the Cabanas. I mean, Martinson's the lowest band, but there's no cliff, so we can burn this all the way down to 0 at this point. It makes no difference. All right, go here. All right, no mistakes. Half decent. Excellent. Okay. Everyone else is going to be pitting soon anyway. Some already did. Front wing feels more solid. There's no performance difference in the banana. I'll read your message. I guess I could pause. I got to remember that. I guess now's a good time to remind you that you can see each time's intervals just above the pit condition strategy buttons and don't need to calculate intervals yourself. Just above the pit strategy condition buttons. Oh, right over here. Yes, thank you. You can also see them. There's a way to get the intervals over here, too. Oh, yeah, the gap. Yeah. But yes, thank you. That's an excellent point that I'm always forgetting. Behind Woodford, although we've got more tire here. I'm a little concerned. Yeah, how much race is left? Quite a lot. Yeah, I'm going to switch to yellow engine mode here. Because I'm a little worried. Oh, Kanjiro's got an actual mechanical problem going on. He's got to pit for his tires anyway. There's going to be a lot of pits up ahead soon. Max Porter lost a place just now. He's just ahead of Maritson. The undercut has paid off for Max Porter here. Yes, there's absolutely a way to let Maritson pass. Like we can give team orders over here to let one through. But for now, I think I'm just going to let them race. He's not being held up or anything like that. For the last lap time, I guess we can see the pace comparisons over there. Yeah, last lap. Well, Martinson's last lap was considerably faster. So he should be closing up over here. He's still 3 seconds behind. So there's no reason to set an instruction quite yet. Yeah, it is officially going to stop raining. I think what we want to do is we're going to want to churn through these tires pretty quickly. The problem is, with them being one behind the other... wow. Oh yeah, because the pit changes. We want to make sure that we don't have a problem with double stacking our pits here. So the interval time between Porter and Maritson will be important. It's still about 3 seconds over here. Which is not quite enough for... Well, it actually would be, because the pit stop's only a couple of seconds if all we're doing is tires. We're also going to be refueling, so we sort of need... We either need to come in at separate laps, or we need to somehow build up a bigger gap, which isn't very likely to happen. I think you got to go back down to neutral here. Mart's first, then Porter is interesting. We could just like throw just his stuff into the red immediately, and try to get him pitted before 7 laps goes. Now, I think the thing to do... Oh yeah, Smith's on softs now. This is a 2, maybe 3 laps early for the supers, but if he had to stop, he wasn't going to put on inters again. Let's burn through Porter's tire real quick here. Engine at 61, engine at 57. Yeah, your tires are hot here too. You know what? You can go into attack as well because the percentages are going to work out. We're gonna pit Porter 1 lap before Maritson, but we're gonna want to pit them soon. So just push, burn through your tires, use everything you can. I really don't want to put you in a higher engine mode. You might be okay. You've got a possibility of an overtake over here, Maritson. Yeah, you're really tight in here too. Let's give you a tiny bit more. Yeah, the rain bars are not 1 lap each. They're about 1.5 right now. All right, you're not about to overtake. You might. I'll leave this on for a sec. Well, the thing is, we're all going to be pitting soon. I don't think there's any reason for us to churn through engine quality right now. That rear wing's getting pretty damaged. Yeah, we'll have to consider that when we pit you. Water's slow enough. I think our slicks would still get a tiny penalty, but not for very long. I think it's going to work out pretty well. I think Maritson might be out on his inters, you know, maybe for 1 lap more than we would like. But what's the time difference between the two? From the leader, we've got about 5 seconds. But Porter's going to have some fueling. Yeah, I think I'm still going to bring them in on separate laps. How's the wing getting damaged? I don't know, maybe you got bumped a little. Every part just automatically has some wear every lap. Okay, so you're passing the pit now, which I think is going to be fine. Let's actually get you right past the start-finish line here, just to make sure the numbers are accurate. So you're going to pit on the next go. Yeah, we're going to go to softs. We have no predicted rain. The problem is the softs won't even last until the end of the race, right? Fuel options... We're going to have 16 laps remaining. The softs can't even get there. We could do 2 stints on super softs, but actually, even then, he would have a hard time. I think we're going to do softs and maybe finish on supers. How's your parts? Takes a while. 9.8 seconds. Getting pretty low. Let's not worry about you. We can do it on the last one. So I'm just gonna go for... We can't really overrun the engines here because we don't have that much engine condition to play with. If we do this, it rounds up. It'll give us 13 laps of fuel for magic reasons. In this game, I don't know why they round that. It's like, there's no reason to do it. You could just use floating points all the time, but they round it up. We're going to leave the pits with 13 laps worth of fuel, which means we'll be able to run in orange engine mode pretty well, because orange engine mode uses about 1.1 laps of fuel per lap. So we could run in orange still fairly well if the condition allows. That is 7.9 seconds of fueling, though, if we're going to do that. You know what? And we're going to have to put some fuel for the final stint anyway. Let's do this. They can fix this, because we're basically having to spend all this time fueling anyway. We may as well do a just-in-case repair while we're fueling, because our condition's so low. And this is our lowest condition part, and yeah, we'll add a little bit more fuel to balance it out. Yeah, if you fuel, you could repair in the same time. That's exactly it. So if we're fueling anyway, we may as well fit in a bit of a part repair. We'll do this. It's a bit overfueled for this stint, but then we won't need to fuel as much for the last one, which might be on super softs. Maybe we can get a fastest lap. Probably not, but wouldn't that be nice, right? For pit strategy, I think fast is what we're going to do. 3 more seconds. 1% more chance. Sometimes the a mistake can cost you quite a long time, but sometimes it can be very short. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile for the 10% chance. Statistically, it has worked. We've looked at the math. Statistically, this works out better overall. You know, it might screw up one of your races, but then you'll come out ahead on a bunch of your other races. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. Yeah, the amount of fuel in the car does affect the speed. So we're gonna have a little more fuel on this stint than we need, but that's going to be okay, because then it'll just save us some refueling time in the last one, where hopefully we won't have to do a repair. Fingers crossed. Okay, I like this. Go. And then we'll bring Maritson in for the next one. Maritson, since you have to do an extra lap, let me just conserve for a second to bring your temperature down. And then I'll just put you back in neutral once you're no longer actively overheating the tires. You can lose a track position for a second. That's going to be okay. Yeah. It just can't pit you now, buddy. And yeah, your rear wing is all messed up. We're going to fix it soon, I promise. So, you're getting past the pit entrance. Okay, you're going to be fine on attack mode over here. We get an accurate lap count. And we're going to pit you in here. Okay. So you're going to pit in for softs. We might be able... It'll be tricky. We'd have to run our tires on conserve the entire time. I wonder if my spreadsheet is in functional status. Synth length, we want to do 15 more laps. We ran you on backup the entire time. We could do it. According to my spreadsheet, assuming I have all my numbers and math correct, if we ran on the most conservative tire mode, which is backup the entire time, on these supers, we actually have like kind of a bit of a smoothness bonus as well. We should be able to finish this race without having to pit again. Now, is that faster than running more aggressively and having an extra pit stop? You get 0 temp on conserve, but tires are running hot as is anyway. And we don't actually have to run on pure conserve or pure backup the entire time. In fact, the temperature barely seemed to drop on conserve. So, well, okay, here's the thing. We know that our rear wing is in terrible shape. We got to fix this regardless. 12 seconds. We're definitely going to have to put up with this 12 seconds. That's so low. That's going to break soon, go into the red, and when you're in the red, it drops twice as fast, and it's very likely that we'll have to retire the car. So, oh, and we have fuck tons of fuel in here. We literally only need this to finish the race. It'll round up to 16. We'll have plenty left. That's really low. Yeah, there's a Discord. If you follow the instructions down below, if you're a subscriber, and you are, you can join the Discord. Do we risk the rear wing or not? That's the big question. We try to see if we can make the softs last for 15. The thing is, there's a good chance it just won't work out, and we're going to have to pit again. And that would be really annoying. The rules do say, I think it's a 100-kilometer speed limit in the pit lane. So theoretically, the pit stops are less costly in this league than in the previous one. All or nothing, risk it. All right, tell you what, we might be screwing up Martin's race. We're gonna try to make this his final stop of the race. We're gonna give him the softs. We're barely any fuel. We're not gonna fix his rear wing. Yeah, let's go fast on the pit stop. What could possibly go wrong? A lot, actually. A lot could go wrong is the answer. Your tires are too hot. They're degrading too quick. These ones here are even gonna make the pit stop. Come on, you gotta drop the temp real fast. Real fast! What we should do is double check the condition right before we enter the pit, which is just around this corner over here. Okay, we haven't lost another condition on the rear wing. Here we go! That's true. We could have played it safe for the sponsor objective, but Porter's in there already. So we've already got someone in the sponsor objective. He does have to stop one more time, admittedly, but most of these guys will as well, especially if they're running super softs like this. So the gamble here is, can Marathon make it to the end of the race on his damaged rear wing without changing his tires again? This is great for Marathon. I mean, it's unfortunate that we just pitted all of our cars right before the safety car. That sucks. On the other hand, a lot of other people did. This is good for Marathon because while the safety car is running, your tire and fuel wear is halved. Marathon's tires will last to the end of the race without a pit stop. This safety car might be good. If other people pit, he's going to gain track position. So the question is, Porter. I think we don't pit Porter, and I think we might actually have a chance of getting Porter to the end. So we want to do this, no matter what, but in addition to the conserving, the condition drops, and I think this affects condition over here as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that affects part condition, but if it does, we may have just made a genius-level play. So that's Ingledew who crashed, which of course is going to help our track position as well. Ingledew sounds like the name of an elf in D&D. Huh. Yeah, both cars have excess fuel, which is great because we have some excess condition in our engine. We're going to be able to go orange or even red for the end of the race. We'll have to do some lap math. Holy cow. Oh, and okay, pitting with mechanical problems. They're going to lose a ton of track position. I mean, it's a good time for them to be pitting. It may or may not change too much. I mean, Porter's up in 5th right now, and again, I don't know. Now, this is going to be good for everyone who sort of who pitted, say, 2 laps before the safety car, went on super softs, ran them hard, and are now pitting for maybe softs for the end. They're going to be in pretty good position, too. Okay, rear wing hasn't degraded. That's a good sign. It's possible parts don't degrade under a safety car. I know you still get fuel and tire wear, but again, it is halved. And top 5 would mean points. I mean, it's going to be hard to maintain that. You know, Hugh, who's right behind us, on super softs, and you bet he's got a stronger car and everything, too. I think I can actually click on the safety car here, yeah. Actually watch it. I'm not, at this point, I'm not, like, banking on ending up 5th and above. But the sponsor objective should be no problem. And our CEO will be happy. All right, let's boost the speed, because this is going to be its in-lap. We still have to wait for a whole other orbit of the track. The tire temp, yeah, we don't want it to hit 0. There you go. But again, the absolute tire temperature doesn't matter. It's just 0% and 100%. That's the only time there's badness. The thing is, we didn't have a ton of tire temp on Martin. We know on yellow it goes up, though. I don't know if it still does under the safety car. But right now it's going to be Porter who might have the tire problem in the end. And Porter, we may not be able to avoid another stop with Porter, unfortunately. We may still have to pit for, you know, some super softs for the last 3 laps or something. I don't know. Keeping the tire, the temperature in the tire is going to be the hardest thing. It's good that the track is so warm. Is there going to be rain right at the end? Yeah, that changes a lot. We might still not want to pit Maritzen, but it makes it a lot less painful to, Oh! Safety car is in. But I don't think the racing has restarted yet. No, they're still there. I don't know if they have to cross the start-finish line or what. Okay. They're going up in their modes right now. You've got some temp in the tires. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring you down. Anyway, but Porter, because you probably... Dude, don't complain about not overtaking yet. 12 laps remaining. Okay, let's do some math here. 12 laps. So fuel-wise, we are fine until the end. We can't run in orange the whole way, but mostly we're fine. Same thing over here. This is fine, and Martin actually can run in orange into the end, assuming the engine condition works. Ah, shit, he did lose some rear wing. I don't know. I don't think this rear wing's going to last until the end. Because it drops twice as fast once it's in the red. We took a gamble, but we didn't get there. Let's assume you're going to have to come in and do some unfortunate repairs on that. So we're actually going to push with your tires. And because we may have to do the last bit of this on inters or potentially even wets anyway. So, and if you're going to have to do repairs, burn through your engine, burn through your fuel as much as possible, because we can top you off while you're doing your repairs, as annoying as that is. Spoiler, the rear wing will survive. That's funny. Damn! I think we did a lot to try to maximize our chances, though, which is nice to see. Now, I don't know if Martin is losing performance because of his parts. I don't think so. I guess we'll go, yeah, attack on the tires. Probably red there, too. Got to keep a sharp eye on the engine condition here. Now, we still want to make sure that we don't double stack them in the pits. Martin stop is going to be a lot longer. Porter's tire condition is already lower. Despite the fact that Martin is going to need some repairs soon, I think we are going to go and pit Porter first, because he'll be quick and then out of the way. And these guys are all going to have to pit again anyway. It's going to be a 3-stopper, regardless. Burn, baby, burn. He's still 24, which is good here. But no, I still want to pit over here. Yeah, I know. They're not healthy. I realize that. What do we got? Where are we at? Okay, we have to run Porter slightly longer. Maybe one more lap here. There you go. And then we'll pit Porter. So, because you're going to have 8 laps remaining. Oh, we may want to get you one more for the super softs here. Oh, no, you're not going to super softs. You're going to inters. Right. Maybe I should have pit Morrison now. You know what? I'm going to pit Martin first, after all. You conserve for a sec to bring the tire temp down, and then we'll probably put you on yellow. Yeah. You've run wide. Oh, shit. You just lost a ton of place from a terrible corner. Ah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to pit now. He's going to be in the pits forever. Anyway, go to inters. Part condition, that has to be fixed. I don't know if you can fix parts simultaneously. No. We're going to have to hope the rest is okay. We'll overfuel by a couple so you can just run red for the rest of it. That's probably going to have to be okay. Oh, man. Some part fixing overlaps. First race of the season is always so rough. Well, remember, he's going to have one more lap around, and then he's going to be in pits long enough. When he comes out, right when he comes out on the inters, it'll probably be still too dry, because that's probably 2 laps worth of dryness. But he's going to do one still out, and he's going to be in the pit for, you know, an annoyingly long amount of time. He'll come out, it'll still be dry, but then it's going to be wet, and it'll be okay. And I don't know if we can afford to wait a little longer. Maybe you can wait one more lap? I'm going through the tires like a fat guy go through his hot dogs. He's got a lot of tire left. I don't know if he's losing any performance on the rear wing. I don't think being in the red zone does that. I think the red zone is just you start to lose your condition twice as fast, and it's only when it hits 0 that it's a real problem. I think. So here's the pit lane. Oh, and there's the rain starting now. No, I'm going to pitch you now. Everything else will hopefully last. I'm going to pit now. Chat is divided, as is typical, and that's okay. 13 seconds. By the time he comes out, there's going to be enough. There's going to be enough water that the inters will definitely make sense. It's possible he's actually gone too far that he's not going to pit now anyway. Oh, okay, there he goes. And we're not the only ones. Porter, you're definitely going to be pitting. Mistake costs us 6 seconds. Yeah, that's too bad, but... Again, overall, the faster pit strategy seems to pay off. You're going to be coming in for inters. Your parts are manageable. 7 laps. That will round up to 7, but I'm going to put one more in there so you can stay on a higher engine mode. That's only a 1 second difference. We're going to go and do that a little safer. Now, there's still, these guys are definitely going to pit, so we're going to lose our sponsor objective for a second here, but then I think we'll be okay. Neutral, high. Drop down to high mode over here. Even rounds if you put nothing in it. Yeah. It's crazy weird. Okay, we're gonna do some lap math in a second here. So we know the temps rise a little on the yellow here on the inters, but I think it's gonna be okay. And honestly, it's short enough that I'm not worried about the inter life. I might want overtake 14th. Is 14th gonna pit again? No. So we actually do want to try to overtake him if we can. 6.7. No, he's losing. Yeah, no, he's not catching up. So never mind. Do this and this. So when you pass, ignore. When we pass this, we should have 6 laps remaining. You have to refresh it. It's really annoying. The lap counter doesn't update immediately when you go past the start-finish line. So we got to do 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3. 6 laps. That is correct. Fuel load is correct for yellow or for orange mode. Engine's okay. Tires is probably going to be fine. And you're going to be in the same situation. You can finish the race on orange. And you're just going to have to deal with your shitty gearbox there, Martin. 6 laps. Honestly? Hold on. That may not be possible. The thing is, whether we'd fix this earlier, or fix it now, or don't fix it, the result is probably exactly the same. Last place. Either one of the parts gives out, and we just end up last, or we spend like over a minute in the pit fixing it all, and we come in last. There's no reason to come in. As far as I know, higher engine mode only affects condition of the engine, and nothing else. Porter is currently in 9th. He should finish, and should beat the sponsor objectives. Other people are pitting. I mean, admittedly, there is that. Oh my god. I can't even look. Yeah, people are pitting. And there's a pretty large gap with some of these guys, like with Blank here. So that's 30 seconds between myself and Blank. So we might not come in dead last. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. There's no points difference. There's no payout difference other than the sponsor objective, which, again, doesn't matter. If we just don't come in, it's going to come out to exactly the same, as far as I know. I mean, he might get cranky, like, "Ah, you didn't manage my thing and I didn't finish the race." I'm like, dude, your end result... I mean, I guess there's a difference to classifying 18th versus... you know, DNF, but is there really a difference? Okay, our parts are still kicking for now, which is good. And yeah, Porter is in the points, and he is... The gearbox is going to start to complain soon, but there's not that much race left. What's the gap here? Okay, it is growing. Yeah, we're not really catching up. And we don't really have another gear. I don't think we can run it in red. We can't be more aggressive with the engine. The tires are going to start overheating soon regardless. Although, there's not that much race left. Oh, this guy's got mechanical problems. He might pit for that. We might be able to overtake 4th. Let's push a little. I don't want to go any more than this with the tires. No matter what, they're going to start complaining about the heat. I tell you what, just in case it makes a difference, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Just in case that makes a difference to the parts. He's on softs in the rain. Oh, that's true. Yeah, and they're worn softs. They're definitely hitting the lowest level. We're going to pass this. Oh, he's scheduling a pit stop. He's scheduling a pit stop, you guys. Is Martin going to finish the race? He's got 7% left in his gearbox. Just a couple laps to go. Fuel loads are fine. Well, you've got too much fuel, but we're hoping that we do this. That I don't know. The other guy's catching up to him, but we're gonna see. All right, one more lap to go. No, two more. Yes, the tire temp has gotten high. I think you're gonna be okay. Well, we actually might want to see if we can drop you one level and avoid you ending in the lowest band. 5th place is not threatening us at all. But we're not really going to catch 3rd unless he gets mechanic. Oh, hold on. He's on super worn softs in the rain. With mechanical issues. Engine's okay, right? Yes, ish. I think we're going to pass him regardless here, I think. Yeah, it's closing in well. Okay, we're now on our final lap. On red, you burn 1.3 laps of fuel per lap, so we have exactly what we need to run this on red for the rest. And our tires are also okay there. I'm still going to keep you on blue. You can run your tires a little bit more. I'm going to keep you on blue engine just in case it affects other durability. I don't care about your final placement. We are up in 3rd. Yeah, we're not going to make up the 3-second gap there. We don't have to compete more. Let me just drop this down a little. Podium first race in this league. Well, actually, there's some other people passing the guy behind us. Never mind. Go, 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 go. Max frickin' Porter. What is it with race car drivers named Max? All right, Martin, what are you looking at? Still 7%. You're going to be fine. Actually, you know what? Give her hell for the end. Stay in 9th. Yes! Oh! Oh, baby, Scenario 7 comes into play. I don't know how we finished the race with Marathon. But we got there, baby. We got there. His car was, like, on fire, crossing the finish line. He lost the floor. He had to, like, yabba dabba do it, you know, with his feet to keep the car going. Holy crap. Podium finish. First race in the Asia Pacific Cup. I mean, if that is not the greatest upset in the history of this game, if I'd done this as a video, people would have accused me of saves coming or something. Look at the Misella over here. He did 1 lap on his softs, because I think he had a mechanical problem. 1 lap on the softs, but he clearly should have like done the repairs then. Same thing happened with Margate. There, yeah, here too, death. The AI not dealing very well with the low reliability kind of scenario over here. Martin has done before. It must be a demon. Oh, the safety car! Right, they pitted during the safety car. They're like, yeah, why not, right? I guess. Max Porter made up 14 places. Martin made up 5 places on a car that was basically made out of cardboard and duct tape. Made up 5 places. Sick. Woodford did have the fastest lap. And yeah, Partanen, who had pole position, ended up 14th. How embarrassing. They do get 2 points each for that. But Max getting 4 points for the 3rd place finish. Belf Knight, thank you very much for the podium contribution to the Whiskey and Chocolate Fund. Wow. Well, today I think it's the Muscle Relaxant and Painkiller Fund. My neck and shoulder is still just like, I'm gonna go lie down and watch some, I don't know, some Korra or something after the stream here. Whoa! Wow! I can't believe it. So good! So insanely good. If we literally never get another point all season, it probably means we end up at least 9th overall. Because lots of teams are going to end with 0. So by having 4, it's going to help us like achieve our objectives here. But we are currently in 3rd place! After Singapore, Predator Racing Group are the coolest team in the Asia Pacific Super Cup. There's no denying it. You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. Points are probably guaranteeing you stay in this tier. Oh, that's true, because we could. Oh, I forgot. Right, if we come in dead last, we actually downgrade. I forgot about that, because in the first league, coming in dead last wasn't a problem. New unlock. Pit stop legend. Oh, but it's the mechanic. Yeah. Excellent. Which we did use. That's true. We had the pit stop legend on one, and we had quick tire changes on the other. Yeah, Chairman's pretty damn happy. Would you give me some extra money now? Because that would be really nice. Did we seriously? I thought prize money was supposed to be, like, spread equally, not be 0. Or is it just at the end of the season? We are investing a lot in next year's car. We also, one of the problems with having so many HQ buildings is that there is some maintenance over there. But we got no payout whatsoever for the race. Zero is spread equally. Okay, huh. Okay. We're gonna have to make some financial adjustments, because we're gonna go bankrupt. Hard to make money in the Asia Pacific, apparently. Yeah, we do have some sponsor stuff, which is good. Okay, first of all, we gotta drop that down. Yeah. If we have another race like this, you'll be happy. Okay. You can only ask them for money once per season. And you may as well do it as early as possible, because it gives you the most amount of time to rebuild the chairman's happiness. Now, as far as I know, the amount of money you get is just a percentage of your overall budget. I don't think anything else is relevant over there. Wow. The auto manage option is terrible. It's horrible. It's about as bad as doing this, but even more so. It is just miserable. So we'll have to do some manual adjustment of these guys to make sure they're doing the right thing. This prefers to keep the mistake percentage low, which I guess is good, but sometimes it makes some mistakes with some of the things like this rear jack off over here at 5 rear jack. Like no. Again, like, so clearly everyone who's a rear jacker is a little tired. How about this guy? Still at 84, which isn't bad. It's not that far off his max. So let's take the Lampard and put you over there, for example. I may make some other adjustments before we go again. We'll see. The bonus is for first place only for Quills drivers? See, let's take a look at this. So, standings, current rules. Equality focused merit payment. Actually, no difference in prize money awarded to top and bottom teams. All teams are rewarded equally for performance over the course of the season. So is there no prize money for individual races? How are we not going to go bankrupt? Not rules. Prize money is always... Yeah, I guess it's just all their expenses went up so much and we don't have the big sponsors. Max Porter was furious after the race, claiming he let his tires run down totally and was begging to make a final pit stop. Needed to do that to execute a strategy. I don't see the issue. Mistake on my part. No, I'm not going to admit to a mistake. If he was a smoother driver, maybe he wouldn't have that problem. Rebel. Listen, we needed that. Deal with it. Driver morale doesn't matter so much. It rebuilds pretty quick. Huh. We'll get some sponsors in a second here. We may have to just not design any more parts. Oh, that was Max Porter who complained? For some reason, I thought it was Martz in my head. Yeah, Max, shut up. You got third. God damn it. What the hell's wrong with you? We may not be able to develop any more parts this season. Until we get maybe some sponsor money. Okay, some sponsors are coming in. I may want to wait until there's 3 available over here. That's a big upfront payment. And then the fix is also good. Then you start doing the math. It's like, okay. 1.5 million divided by, what was it, 11? Divided by 11 is 136,000 per race. So this is less than this, plus it's got an upfront payment. Well, I guess that would have been pretty easy to figure out, because if it was 10 races, then this would be the same as the fixed. So we'll be going for the other one, but not right away, because you can have up to 3. So if we wait before we do it, for all we know, we'll have another one that's slightly better. That part's still working, and we're still okay with the... I mean, everything's got to go up in reliability. I might cycle it out, and just start grabbing some of the lower reliability ones. But they're all... I mean, the wing's still pretty bad at 50%. Like, but the wings are faster to repair than, say, the gearboxes. Gearbox is pretty important. Well, I guess what I could do is I could cancel the front wings. We'll do a little bit of rear wing reliability. Unless we were planning on redesigning those first, you know? But we're not going to have much time. We may as well get the base reliability of a few things up. I mean, we need to improve parts. Don't swing over. Stay on that side. Yeah, it would be nice to grab some pay drivers, but we did do some looking. We had a hard time. Yeah, I'll shill for big oil if they're paying me 6.5 million pounds up front. I don't have to do math on this one, you guys. We've been saved by big oil. Ah, wonderful. Okay, guys, we have a budget again. Woohoo! So we're gonna what are we gonna do next, I guess, because I may want to not, you know, work on something. These are timed. Lowest. Our front wing is really bad. Now, our designer's not particularly good at working on those, though. Well, again, the next year's car, like, again, it doesn't matter. This is just how much we're putting aside from every race, so we don't spend it. But I'm still going to keep this low, because we don't know how much of a... I'll try to end with as much balance as possible sitting around, so that we can use it. But I'm going to leave that low, because things might go sour pretty quickly. We want to design the back wing next? I think that might be fine, which is, you know... what I'll do then is the one at 59%, I'm going to cancel. Because we might be able to sneak in designing a new rear wing and getting it usable before the next race. Let's start working the engines, actually. Because we can never replace the engines, and we use all this reliability. We're going to get a new suspension. I guess we may not do the brakes in a while. You know what, actually? Here, let's do this. That's going to be okay. Simulator is built, which does increase the how high we can develop some of our parts, but also passively increases some of our driver skills potentially a little bit better, which is nice. Where's our simulator? Simulator over here. So yeah, lets us get our rear wing all the way up to great, but also improves driver consistency and adaptability, which is kind of nice. We could put 6 parts into here, but it spreads it out, right? So we just want 1 in here to take advantage of the passive amount. But I think if we add more parts, it just spreads them out. Because, like, if we compare, right? If we put 1 brake in here, it's 2 days. If we put a second brake in here, 26 days. And it's not that it's a second brake that's the problem. You can see it spreads out the bonus. So all we care about is that there's anything being improved whatsoever, so that we don't waste the passive number. We don't really care what gets improved necessarily. So I'm going to just put the suspension in here because it's a part that we'll probably use a little bit longer. But it's not, yeah, it's not obvious. Not obvious. There's a lot about this game that's not super obvious. All right, that's new suspension. So we're going to start designing a new rear wing. Yeah, we'll just give it more performance. Gonna be done 6 days before the race. That's not going to give us a lot of time to get some reliability. We could consider for this rear wing just lowering its red zone so that we can run it with lower reliability. Just, again, it's very short term, but not it, and it's all short term. Whereas this, even if we don't do more wings, this still benefits during next season. I think I will go and just give it the stats. And we'll see if we can squeeze a little bit of reliability before the race. Oh, yeah, I really like automation still, RC2999. Okay. 80% is pretty good. Gearboxes still take a long time to fix, but at 80%, you start to see pretty good reliability for everything except the engine because you're not pushing them as much. There's still a possibility that you run into problems, but less so. So, what I might want to do... Actually, they're all pretty high up. Well, I might want suspension. What I'm going to do is cancel those 2. 4 hours after race. Yeah, so these actually have huge performance or reliability before the race. So in that case, this is still going to be pretty good performance by the time the race happens. Reliability on these guys. And actually, I might be able to pull out this suspension in a few days. The engine, I might want to do a little more engine, but I don't want to degrade. I really want to get this 40% up. They're already at 80. And this is really, I think I'm going to do this at least for a few days. Get everything on 100%, then you can weight strip down to 80%. Yeah, I mean, that'll be a good goal, but right now we have to get it up to at least 80%, period. We're going to work to get them up to 100% afterwards. But yeah. So part improvements, those are good. Nothing fitted yet, but that's okay. I guess we'll go until we do the rear wing, and then we'll reevaluate then. That actually sounds pretty good. Excellent. Cancel you. Cancel that. Throw in the new rear wing. It may not have enough in 5 days. Yeah, it probably won't. So we may not, and it's actually not that much better than the others. We may not stress about getting this new wing ready to go for the next race. Whereas you're at 63%. I'm going to start throwing you in there because those are parts I actually care about. We can do front wing. We can get them all a few more percentages up. Just for the next race. So in 5 days, hopefully these will all hit at least 70%. Maybe it'll be a little bit higher. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back into the rear wing. Because this is not... I mean, it can be improved to 499, but even it's not that great. I think what we'll do is we'll go immediately into it again. Oh, and that's max, so that's improvability. That's not even current performance. So yeah, the first one didn't really matter. And we'll do something like this. And this will be something, so 529 max. Or we could go double good, but that would mean some illegal parts, which I don't want to... That's good at the end of the season, but we're actually going to want to race with this one. I think what I'll do is I'll make this rear wing like this, and then I might make... Fuel improvability, lowered reliability. Wow, the grade level is actually kind of shit with this. None of these are very interesting. Oh, I mean, the plus 50 on soft supers and ultras is potentially strong. Yeah, it'll take longer to improve it because of the minus reliability, so we'll have to build it up more before we can use it. But we might consider this. So we'll do this and this. The only question is, will I go and do another rear wing immediately, or do I just go and do something else? I'll think I'll this. I mean, no matter what, for this particular wing, which we are going to use, we're going to do this. The max, the current, which also increases the max. Okay. That's going to be fine. Working on that, improving there. Scouting stuff is happening. We still have a bunch of stuff in the queue. Yeah. Okay, excellent. And the pit crew. Okay. Well, we're going to be wrapping up the stream here because it is just after 4. But what we're going to do is we're going to advance until the next race. And I think we're going to do Monday Motorsports. And I think a lot of times we'll potentially do 2 races in one. We had a lot of prep work before this one. But the next time we stream, we're going to start immediately with a race. Then do the in-between stuff. All right, that's good. That's going to be good enough to race. I'm pleased with how we're ending up over there. We can even take a quick look at some of the fittings for some of the cars. I mean, yeah, those. There's no real choice over here. We're not going to use this rear wing, but we may end up using this rear wing after all. Originally, when I designed it, I wasn't sure if we would. We'll have to make a decision as to... So we're making a wing, like a tier 2 wing right now. Are we going to make another tier 2/tier 3 wing, or are we going to use this tier 1 wing, which can be improved above the others? It's not stupendous, but it's something. We may want to, because we do actually have a lot of parts to work towards. And yeah, we can definitely run this other suspension, do something like that. I mean, in terms of performance, they're basically the same right now. So that's going to be okay. So this is what we're going to go with on our next race. I mean, our car numbers are still terrible compared to everything else. Tier 1, almost 60 point improvement on the gray part. Of what, the suspension? Or the wing? When we max it out, yeah. When we max it out. But we can... The tier 2 that we're working on will be about a 90-point improvement. So we might just want to do the tier 2, have 2 tier 2s and use those. Or we just do 1 tier 2 and improve this one. This is still better than the gray. Obviously, we're not going to not use it. That would be crazy sauce. The only question is, do we use the tier 1, a tier 1 and a tier 2, or do we do 2 tier 2s? We'll have to figure that out for next time. I hear A Kiss for Luck in the kitchen right now, so I don't know if she's streaming today. Ostriva's game. I think A Kiss for Luck is going live, but I think it's Rhino who's streaming. I don't know what Ostriva is. That's a new game. Well, we're going to do a raid on A Kiss for Luck's channel. My next stream is going to be Wednesday, where probably we're going to continue Hearts of Iron with the Old World Blues mod. And probably we'll continue this next Monday. I think I would like to keep going with that. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's go and raid A Kiss for Luck's channel, and I'm going to see you guys in 2 days. Bye. Oh, Ava said she was streaming, not Rhino. What the hell is Ostriv? Let's find out together. Might be a new game. I don't know.